Hey guys, what's up? It's Christine Seal, the High Level Queen, and I have a really exciting interview for you guys today. It is with Ericka Williams of the Classy Climb, and she is a six-figure YouTuber. Hey girl, what's going on?
What's up, everybody?
Thank you so much for joining us today, and I can't wait to get started. But first, I would love to hear a little bit about you, who you are, and kind of how you got started.
So I essentially come from a military cop family, farm family out of North Carolina's. But our parents were military, so we got to live in Alaska. My brother got to live in Germany. My father was born in Japan. And so when I got out of college, I've had a lot of this like diverse experience. And so I was like, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a coffee shop. I was like the Hallmark Channel girl, right? I'm gonna start a coffee shop. And it was great. It was super successful. And then the city decided they needed to do major construction on the highway that cuts across from the college campus to that plaza. So within a year and a half, students really couldn't cross the road safely, and we let that business go. And I flipped a coin. I said, I'm going to go to Nashville, Tennessee or Austin, Texas. So I flipped the coin. And this is me starting to dabble and like, oh, okay, I think I like YouTube, right? I get to Austin, Texas, and I start like reading all these motivational books. I'm trying to go to work, back into the matrix from having my own business. And so I'm just making all these YouTube videos, like motivational book reviews. And I was kind of motivating myself and motivating others. And it just took off, right? I got interviewed by Andre Hatchett of the Dr. Boyce Watkins team at the time. And I ended up going, people like, hey, can I speak with you? And I was like, sure. I've got a link in the chat, go ahead and do it. 600 phone calls out of that, 600 paid consultations out of that. It was insane. And then, from now, we're on this path, a lot of other stuff. Over 6,000 paid consultations now at this point, over 7 years, and countless everything else.
Oh my God, that is so incredible. Wow. Okay. So we, just a little background on us. So we met at a mastermind on a yacht party.
Yep.
And we started talking about YouTube, and I was like, oh my God, I got to check her out because I was just so fascinated about what you were talking about. And you have an amazing channel. So, how long have you been doing your channel? And then tell us a little bit about like kind of how you figured it out, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And so I would say YouTube is a very alternating, changing beast. It's one of those things that like it grows and it changes, and the algorithm changes, and what it wants changes. There was a time when Facebook Live started, and YouTube wanted to be that competitor, so they love live streams. Well, now they love this or that, or just niche channels. It helps them with their SEO, and so YouTube's one of those things that like I was doing it from a perspective of reaching people. Right, consistently reaching people. I would Google what was the Google trends, what was the searchable topics, because I was trying to learn money. Right, I was learning money. I was studying money and studying it. And okay, well, if I do this and I invest here, and so a lot of my videos are great reviews of like me actually attempting projects. And I attempted like several. I put together a little book called Smartphone Millionaire: How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Because at the time I was a property manager. And then I was delivering pizzas at night. And then I was starting to notice all these apps. And I was like, this is really cool. And I just start testing a lot of stuff. And just a couple years later, man, I think a year and a half later, I had started a painting business with my friend, made a ton of money off that. And then I just grew, grew documenting the journey, grew educating myself, sharing it with people, investing in myself, and then teaching it. People love that. They just love the engagement. So that's kind of how the channel took off.
That's so cool. Wow. Okay. I don't know about you, but I get the question all the time like how do you start? Like how do you start gaining traction, because I know a lot of people who have tried the YouTube thing and then they get really discouraged because they have, 5 views here, 10 views there,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like they're not making an impact. So what would you say to somebody like that?
So let's go ahead and dispel some of the most famous myths about YouTube. If you have 1,000 views, you are in the top 10% of YouTube. 90% of all YouTube videos get less than 1,000 views. So right there off the bat, if you're like, oh my God, Ericka, my video got like 1,002 views. Welcome to the top 10% of YouTube. So much content is put on YouTube in a daily basis that, I mean, just per hour, per minute, some of it's junk, some of it's not. And a lot of times people feel like, well, the algorithm hates me. I know things because I've gone to VidCon, I've gone to Vid Summit, I've studied YouTube for years that I literally can tell people, oh, this is what I did wrong with my channel. But it still makes money because it's not about the subscribers. It's about the engagement. It's about how many people are on your email list. If you don't have an email list, you don't have a business. Okay? That's what I tell people every time. Now, I'll even go even further. Out of like the 37 million, I think, YouTube channels, 76,000 channels have over 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
76,000 out of 37 million.
That's crazy.
So automatically when people are like, Ericka, my channel's got like 10,000 subscribers. I only got and I'm like, don't disrespect your subscribers. Yeah. These are people who are coming to see you. This is your audience. This is the epitome of long tail. So prime example, Mr. Bean. Have you ever heard of Mr. Bean? Ever seen Mr. Bean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Bean channel on YouTube, they went through, a team got hired, and he had already had millions of views. It was millions of views. And they went through and they just completely did new SEO, new descriptions, new thumbnails on all his channel's videos. It took him about like 6 months. Team of people. Mm-hmm. He went from small views, millions of views, to like billions of views. Because it became searchable, I could type it in, I could find it. There was playlists. There's all these different little things that add to it. Some people just throw a video up there. There's no description. There's no tags. The title doesn't even make sense. If you have a thumbnail that's completely opposite of your title, like way off left field, you have a hard time getting traction on that. Why? One, click-through rate, right? If someone's clicking on your video and they get to your video and it's not about what the thumbnail is, they'll click off. Well, YouTube pays attention to that. The computer is built, what we call Skynet on my channel, is built to notice that. Okay, so people clicked on that thumbnail and then they got off the video quickly. Let's not send her any more traffic, right? Or people watched like 50% of this video. Let's send more people. People only watched 3 minutes of this 13-minute video. Maybe it wasn't a good video. So again, the platform is to keep people on the platform. If they're coming to your video and they're quickly darting off, YouTube's like, yeah, she's not keeping them on the platform, right? So a lot of times what people miss out is what I call people doing things for YouTube and doing things for yourself, right? Because we all want to just do our own kind of thing. But I do teach in my class a lot of times like, hey, this is evergreen content. This is trending content, trendy, what's the difference and why does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, very cool. And you talked a little bit about building an email list and how important that is. And for people just getting started, what are a couple ways they can do that if they have a YouTube maybe, or they want to start one, but they don't have an email list?
Right. So the simplest thing I would do is hop over to MailChimp.com, set you up. People are going to be like ConvertKit, ClickFunnels, all this stuff. Sometimes just an email list, just starting is a good start, right? Yeah. So I tell people a lot of times, what are the things you want to teach and who are you trying to teach? Right? So a lot of times people go, well, I just want to help people. And I'm like, who do you want to help? Who is this avatar of this person you're wanting to talk to? What's the data telling you is the person you're trying to talk to? So prime example for me, I've learned very quickly in my audience, the people that were booking calls, the people that want to talk to me were men 30 to 50 years old. They were married. They wanted to make more income, or their wife just got pregnant, or their wife just lost their job. And their biggest transition was, how do we make more income that's not strenuous, stressful, or out of the loop of my skills, and maybe something my wife could do, or maybe something she can help me with. And now we can go into this new money-making venture together. That was the data, what data was telling me. So for me, I just kept producing content for a while of like, okay, you can invest in this app and that app and this online and this stock, and giving people tangible things they could do. Now, let's say you got the MailChimp list and you're like, okay, Ericka, I think my audience is this. We'll test it out. Offer a free PDF, offer something that you know is valuable. Prime example, let's say you say, hey, 5 ways to make an extra $500 this week. And this is if you're in the money image, right? And you put it together and your reasons why, and type it up, make it free, and tell people, hey, I'd love to give you more free content. I'd love to give you something for watching the channel. I want to give you something I think helped me this week. Here's this free PDF. Now people say, well, Ericka, that's old news. People don't do that anymore. People still literally to this day do that. And it still works every single day. There's nothing new under the sun. And I really want people to understand that there's a bulk of Americans who are just now getting on YouTube, who are just now today, maybe they have a financial problem and they just found Dave Ramsey. They just found Tony Robbins. They just found somebody. They've maybe seen them before, but it didn't matter. When the problem arises that they need help with today, now it matters. And now they're searching for answers. So all these tactics still work.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed too, the quarantine had a big effect on YouTube and viewers and engagement because everyone wants to learn from home.
For sure.
So it's a great time.
Well, and also too, you got to think about it. Like if you've been just living your life, you and your wife just been going about, and all of a sudden, you know, if you guys didn't notice, but like 150,000 people lost their job in December 2020, and it was all women. It was not one man. Now you're home and you have this time to go, oh my God, I lost my job. What do I do? How do I make income? How do I find things to better myself? And there's that search that happens I tell people every season, there's new people searching for ways to make money online, make income. And now you got moms who are home are like, oh, I'm not going back out of the house. I got to keep chlorizing everything. I got to take care of these kids. I'm not leaving. I'm not getting in traffic. I'm out of that. Right. So again, it's depending on the niche, the opportunity, there's always people wanting to learn.
Very cool. Awesome. Okay. I hope you guys are liking this so far. Make sure to give us some likes and hearts for Ericka taking her time to teach you guys something valuable today. So I am super fascinated by how on your bullet points you have like how to make $1 million. So tell me a little bit about that and like your journey and how people can kind of achieve that.
Sure. So I tell people always reverse engineer the numbers, break the numbers down. Right. So prime example, you could have a $25 book. Right. And again, I might write on a piece of paper, just keep myself on task, but a $25 book, a $100 course, a $500 bigger coaching package, right? And a $1,000 package. Now you're going to say, well, Eric, I don't know if anybody pay me $1,000. Let me put it to you this way. 15% of people who buy a $1,000 course don't even open it. I think the number someone said somewhere, and I forgot to go research this, it's like 30% of people with courses under $400 don't even open them. Right. And the biggest thing I tell people is go check out 4 Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Great book, still great to this day, still spot on. So prime example, I've got a book that I want to offer for $25. Then I've got a book, something else, next level offer, right? Or group coaching. A lot of times people overlook the simplest stuff, Facebook groups. So prime example, we'll break it down. $25 book. Let's say I have a $50 a month Facebook group. And I go in there and I'm teaching and I'm talking and I'm live chatting with people. And now I've got this $150 course, right? Because some people maybe not want the course, but they definitely want the engagement of community. So the Facebook group. Then I have a $500 package. Can't pinpoint exactly what I think I want to make it, but I'm going to give me a second. And then I've got a $1,000 thing. Now, I always tell people events, 1 quarterly event, right? If you look over my timeline, if you look at my lot of videos, you see where I do events in Atlanta and Florida and actually meeting people offline because I think it's important for people to do face-to-face networking, not just all on YouTube and we're all like, hey, what's up, YouTube? Actually meeting people in person. It's choice. So we'll make that another $100 event. And we're just doing that quarterly. So let's say we have 100 people show out to our $100 event. That is 10K. Let me make sure I'm doing my numbers right before I tell you something crazy. That's 10K, right? Looking over my numbers. Okay. And then out of my Facebook group, let's say I get, and Facebook groups are absolutely smoking hot right now. But let's say out of my Facebook group, I have 1,000 people because I know people are like, Ericka, but people are going to drop off. That's the nature of Facebook groups. Some people are going to stay on, some people are going to drop off. So let's say I get up to 1,000 people because I've got this YouTube channel and I'm promoting them like, hey, y'all, I can't do really long videos and and be up here 2-3 times a day on Facebook, I mean on YouTube, but over in my Facebook group, I can give you guys some really good information and you can connect in a community. So we get 1,000 people over there. That's literally $50,000 a month. Now, a lot of you are not going to start out like that. Let me be very clear. You're not going to start out like that. Many of you may start out with 100 people in your Facebook group. 100. But guess what? That's $5,000. That's $5,000 a month. That's pretty good money for most people who want to stay home and focus on something and build something from home. So the book, it's a $25 book. You're like, oh, Ericka, what are we going to do with that? Let's just say we keep it simple. We want to do 100 sales a month of this book, but that may not always be possible. So we're going to get it down to 50 sales of the book. And I'm sorry I'm making y'all do math today. I'm totally pulling out the calculator right along with you because I've been doing this for so long. The numbers are different for me. So that's $1,250 from the book every month. Now we have the $150 course. You may talk about that course every other day. And people are like, hey, I have a question about that course. Trust me, it happens to me every time. I'll talk about a course for 45 days straight. On day 60, somebody's like, hey, I have a question about the course. And you just bring it up again. Like, I never create any products or services that I can't keep talking about or that I love or enjoy working on. I don't create those. So out of the $150 course, let's say we sell 100 of those a month. Because it may just be something people need. We're talking about it. We're promoting it. Now, a lot of people will tell you the best technique is to promote it for 45 days straight and then 40 to 90 days straight, really, and then move on to your next product. But I tell people, no, it should be a part of your casual conversation that, hey, over here, I have this course that I offer to you that I think is helpful and it will solve a lot of your problems and also cut down on, I would say, what people call coaching time, right? A lot of you are going to call me with the same questions and I just threw it together in a course and you can all learn it here, over here in this course. So 150 times 100, and we're making these numbers really simple today, it's $15,000. Now, I haven't even gone to the $500 or the $1,000 product yet. I haven't even done it. But already, just from low numbers here, we've got 1,250 coming from the book, right? Then we've got over here, let's do the low number, 100 people join your Facebook group. That's $5,000. That's just start. We're just starting out. And then we have this course, 100 people buy it a month. That's $15,000. All right. So now we're at $21,250. I don't know about you, but most people would love to have 20 grand a month. Now, we're just starting, right? But let's say it keeps consistent for a whole year because we're consistently promoting and marketing. We're at 255,000. Now, what I tell people is on the way, your students and who you're teaching and who you're talking to help you create and craft bigger and better courses and programs and packages, because this is what ends up happening. Hey, I've got a question about this. I started the course. I did this in the course, but I have more questions. So now you've added onto the course or you've made it better or you've increased the price. A lot of times your students just asking them simple email, either in the email list or asking them, hey, what are some of the things you're facing or challenging? Doing that like once every 30 to 45 days gets you a lot of answers you need. Even doing inventory. What I tell people is, Ericka, how do people write so many books? The top 18 questions you get are usually the same questions over and over again on your channel, on whatever product or service you teach. It's the same questions over and over again, all the time. Prime example, I had a young lady who is an artist and she draws, Marvel comics and Wakanda Forever stuff. And people would watch her channel just watching her draw. And she's like, Ericka, how can I make money off this YouTube channel? It's not like I teach something. I'm like, but you do. People are watching you draw. You have this 40,000 subscribers. You know how to make any money off of it. And she's like, okay, what do I do? I said, this is what you do. You go there today. You say, hey, you guys, can you join my email list? I'll give you, some secret sketches, right? I said, 2, you go out tomorrow, because this is right when Black Panther came out, right? I said, you tell them, hey, I'm going to teach you for $60 how to draw, T'Challa, right? I'm messing his name up, but the Black Panther actor, right, in the suit for $50. And then for $50 in a separate class, I'm going to teach you how to make Iron Man perfectly. She sold 1,000 courses that day. And it's literally people watching her draw it and then her walking them through how to draw it. on a like a live. It blew my mind, but it was perfect because she had never really made any money off YouTube from 40,000 subscribers. She got a little bit of crumbs and she was like, I'm really feeling discouraged. I'm about to give up. And I said, no, ask them for the money.
Yeah.
So I'm not just talking about, teaching money topics. Whatever it is you do and you're showing people, they're going to want to know about it. So again, how do we get to 1 million? Again, if you look over my channel, I have multiple products, I have multiple books, I've got calendars, planners. Business like life is very seasonal. So I do a lot of things in seasons, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can they check out your channel? Is it SW Investment?
No, it's Ericka Williams. I was the number 2 Ericka Williams for a long time, but now I'm number 3 because of the Busset Challenge.
Okay. I saw the SW Investment. Thank you for supporting the channel. So I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, go check her out, guys. She does interviews like all the time.
Yeah.
Goals, but super, super helpful info on how to make money online and lots of other cool stuff. Very cool. So, okay, now, is it cool if we talk about the speaking tour?
You sure can. Yeah.
Oh man, because you sent me this image of like the whole month of August that you had, and tell us a little bit more about that because that sounds really cool.
So a big thing is people, they go, oh man, you can never make any money off events. You just can never make any money, Ericka. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. And I go, what are you talking about? Tracy Bryan, all kind of people I can name. They've been making money. A big thing is people want to meet other people in person, especially in the making money phases and certain small businesses. Because people, it's hard to network in the real world. We're tired, we're working, we're jumping, getting coffee. We don't want to do that. But sometimes if you create a really great event where people can come, they get a little drinks, they get a little food, boom, they have this magical room of everybody in that room is on the same mind path. Now, what do I mean? Sometimes if you're excited about your business and you go tell your family, you're trying to first convince them that this is a good ideal. And then you're convincing them of what the business even is. So now you're exhausted because you've had to jump through hurdles of convincing them what your business is and what do you do and why you're excited about it. And now you're depleted on energy. You're absolutely depleted. So what I tell people is going to events and conferences cut down my learning curve. It put me in a room with people with the same energy, same thought process. It put me around folks who wanted to, be go-getters. And because I'm busy in life and someone like you is busy, but we'll go have drinks and laugh on a boat in Miami. When would that happen? I live in Texas. You live out west. It would be hard for that to happen other than what?
Kansas.
Huh?
I'm in Kansas.
There you go. Like, when am I going to be in Kansas?
Never. Right? No one comes here. That's awesome.
Right? So we come together at this event and it cuts down a learning curve. And now we're talking on the internet. And now I'm seeing pictures from your chickadees and things you have on your farm. And I'm like, this is awesome. Right? So it starts putting you in circles with the right people. Yeah. Now, how did I put together the speaking tour? I base it off of my student sales and I base it off of where I get the most engagement. So prime example, I put in your chat, if you're watching this video right now, and there's about 50 of you, I think 20 of you watching this video right now, put your city and state in the chat. Let us know where you're at so we can put events where you live. And I do that every single show. People see me do it every single show. I'm even asking your students now to do it, right? Because it gives you a pathway of knowing, okay, my students all seem to come from New York, or they all seem to come from Florida, or my dad is telling me they're coming from here. So I charted out an 8-city tour with 2 masterminds at the back end for $1 million. Okay. So prime example, let's break the numbers down because I'm very transparent. People know how transparent I am on things. So I have the top 4 cities that we're doing first batch of cities we're doing is San Diego, California, and Oakland, California. My number 1 is New York, but my number 2 is LA and Northern California. So we're getting as close to those cities as possible, right? My other 2 is Atlanta and Washington, D.C. That's the first 4 all in August, first leg of the tour. By the time we complete that tour, we should probably have about $500,000. $500,000. The other 4 legs of the tour are Houston, Tampa, Florida, I think, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we go back to LA, right? And so we have those 3, and then there's a secret 4th, can't tell you yet. We know what city we're doing, but we can't tell it yet. Then we have 2 masterminds, one in Florida and one in Austin, Texas. What, Austin, Texas? We're not in Austin, Texas, okay? And we have a super big house, but those masterminds are close to 10K per person, okay? So what ends up happening when you do the numbers for the ticket game, and as far as marketing all year long, and people have been cooped up in the house, our sales will get us over probably $1.7 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you see people do tours like all year long, do your math.
Oh, wow.
Do your math. Like they're probably making closer to 5 million. Now you're gonna say, well, Ericka, that's gross. That's not net. And that's true. It's gross, not net. There is a lot of money people spend on advertising. But if you pay attention, between me and all my speakers I have coming on, because we have different speakers, different cities, we probably have 167,000 people on our email list combined. Wow. So how hard would it be to sell 1,800 tickets out of an email list of 160,000 people?
Yeah.
Not hard, right? And so this is why you see speaking, but also the fact is a lot of people changed. The virus got them in the house. They were frustrated. And they're like, okay, I got to do something different. I got to be around different people. I've got to grow differently. I've got to go check out new things. And it's not uncommon for me to see, people like fly to their friends now because they've been cooped up in the house and they see how important it is to be around people. It's not uncommon for me to see people move. We have tons of people moving out of New York and California. They're like, I'm out of here, dude. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Florida. I'm out of here. Right. And so a lot of these conferences cut down that changing your thinking and changing what you want to do, changing your investing style. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people say, well, Ericka, nobody's going to pay to see me. You don't know that. You don't know that. I usually tell people, go on Eventbrite right now. There are people charging $50 for virtual events on Eventbrite, right? And they don't have huge audiences. And so a lot of times what people do is they discount the ideal. They discount it. They go, well, nobody's going to pay for that. No one's going to come see me. And that's just not true. If you're providing really great content, no matter what that content is, you have people line up to go to Comic-Con. And they're not even there to see the stars sometimes. They're there to see the other friends at Comic-Con. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So again, there's a construction conference that my friend goes to every year, and he's like just raving on it because he gets to see everybody he knows in construction in other cities and states. And it's in Florida. And I'm like, well, how was the conference? Oh, the conference was great. Everybody was fun. So a lot of times people think, oh man, it depends on the speaker. It depends on this. I'm like, no, a lot of times people come to conferences and events for the people in the room. Mm-hmm. It's the fastest shortcut to the money. If I think of it, I think Max Maxwell did a conference in Dallas. They had a bell underneath the stage, like by the stage. You ring the bell. And they were like, ring the bell if you made a deal today. Well, this is a room full of house buyers, flippers, construction guys, wholesalers talking back and forth. That bell rang so much. They had to tell them, all right, hold on now, y'all. Ring the bell in between speeches. Oh. Because it was like, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Now, you walked all the way up to the stage to ring the bell. What do you think happens when people saw you walk back? Everybody in that room's like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Who's that girl who just rang that bell? What's her name? What city and state is she in? What property did she just sell? I need to talk to them. And that's the power of conferences. That's the powers of seminars. That's the power of mastermind events. You go in there, you get hyped up, right? But my biggest thing is making sure you leave that event doing. That's my whole goal. Like, I don't want you just going to conferences all year long to hang out with your friends. I want you actually doing some stuff.
Right. Absolutely. This is so perfect because I'm actually planning my first event like as of yesterday. So mm-hmm. This is so timely for me, and I appreciate your encouragement and advice as well, because I had, like imposter syndrome and all that kind of stuff about it, thinking like, well, I don't know if anyone's going to come to this. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but you're so right. People come because they want to see their friends and they want that network. And that's really how I got started. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my business did not take off until I started going to masterminds.
Yeah.
So
It cuts your learning curve. We are creatures of habit. We get into such a comfortable place. We'll do the same thing every day for years. I meet people who have businesses who I think should be 10 times bigger than they are, but they've gotten comfortable. They're like, oh, I got kids. I'm tired. I'm blunt. Here you go. And they show up just enough. When you go to a conference or you go to an event, you're like, I've got to show up 10x in my own life. You know, I got to really build this thing and be happy about it. And so something people forget is too, a lot of YouTubers, we're on the second generation of YouTube. The first generation, a lot of those people are already retired. They did 10 years, they done made their money and they're gone home, right? We've got multimillionaires from the space. A lot of the fitness guys moved over to supplements and other opportunities because of how powerful it was. They don't stay doing the same video for 12 years. And so you have to tell yourself, when you have imposter syndrome, allow yourself to grow and change. Allow yourself to see yourself in a new way. Because a lot of times what we're doing is we're seeing ourselves as our family members always see us as like 9-year-old Ericka, 9-year-old Christy, right? Like when you kind of take a step back, like I really tell people this on a sheet of paper, and you can ball this up and throw it away if you want, but take the sheet of paper, you write down all the things you've accomplished, every single thing you can think of, you know? And number two, you write out how many people have I impacted. Big thing for me is I ask for testimonials. I had a boat party here in Austin 3 years ago, and I have them every year, but not this year. And people came and were like, dude, you showed me how to buy stocks for my grandchildren. I bought a rental property because of you. I changed jobs. I moved to state because of you. And I'm sitting there just bawling my eyes out of my own event because I'm like, wow. Like, you don't know the impact you're having on people. And so I'm big on telling people, get out a piece of paper, write down how many things you've accomplished. Go look at some of your testimonials. I ask for testimonials almost every day at this point because I'm like, I need to know if it's helping you, if it's making some kind of impact on your life, let me know. Right. And then also think about, where do you want this to go? What kind of impact do you want to have? My biggest thing is showing people that businesses aren't that complicated. Side hustles aren't that complicated. I've met people who I thought were, a quart light, and they're running a $1 million business. You know what I mean? So, I know a guy right now who started a solar power company in Houston, edges of Houston. He made $1 million, and people are like, how'd you do it? And he's like, dude, I just asked my friends to help me knock on doors and off Facebook. He didn't even have a business structure. So you're at home, oh my God, my business. And I'm like, dude, there's some kid knocking doors, making $1 million, and he don't even know how he did it. You know what I mean? So I tell people, like, seriously, like, if you're studying this stuff, you're thinking it, you're overthinking it. Walk in your purpose, walk in who you are. You're helping people. You're changing lives. Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, that's actually what I told one of my students yesterday, because she said, I finally feel like we're starting to make some traction because she's monetizing her Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I can see it. I see the path I need to go, but it's super discouraging because I want to make more money. And I'm like, slow down and just enjoy the journey, because one day you'll look back and be like, oh my God, what happened? And then you'll be like, what do I do with all this money? And then you're going to have like new problems. So just enjoy.
I'm telling you, new money, new problems. And again, what ends up happening is people, let's say somebody makes their first 1,000 on the internet. They're like, yes, first 1,000. Well, now they're like, well, I need to make 10,000 a month. Well, hold on there, buddy. You just made your first 1,000, right? I tell people, really have to be careful where they're looking or putting their eyes. I look at my paper and I go, hey, I helped, 1,000 students this month. It's not even about the money at this point. At this point, it's like, how many people are we impacting, and how many people are opening the courses, and how many people are starting businesses, and like, what are the headaches they're facing? And like, even on YouTube, when people quit on YouTube in their head before they quit on the platform. Yeah, Ericka, I was thinking about making a video. I thought about making a video. I got nervous. I didn't know what to title the video. I didn't know what to make the thumbnail. Like, they're quitting before they even post the video. Right. And so me live streaming was one of those things where I just would turn the camera on and I'd get over it. I'm like, boom, put the camera on. Let's go. And I've got a different personality than some people for sure. I'm an extrovert, really extrovert. But majority of people on YouTube are introverts.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their home by themselves with a camera. Like they can do that. If you ever want to get a good giggle, go to VidCon or Vid Summit. You're in a room of people who are like sweating, pouring sweat. And you're like, what's going on? It's a bunch of introverts who are like, oh God, gotta talk to these people all weekend. But then by the end of the weekend, they're having a blast.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing if you ever want to see it.
I feel that.
And that's just is what it is, right? And again, you can excel in these markets, especially now with the remote work. People that are introverted, literally, you don't even have to go meet people in person anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the playing field is very much leveled for everybody at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and being introverted is like having a rechargeable battery. So like as you're away from people, your battery gets more and more charged up. And then once you're around people, like it drains your battery. But then once it gets charged up again, you're like, oh my God, I need people. And that was me last year under, house arrest, basically.
I mean, literally, I was like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Thank God I had an office. I had staff I could go see. And I just changed offices because I'm just a bi person. So I just changed offices a couple months ago. But the whole time I flew. I went places. I went out every single day. I made it a mission. And when I was there, Texas was very open. Thank God. Because I moved to Texas for the sunshine. And what was funny is everybody was at the park. Like everybody was like, we're getting out of this house. And as an introvert, I'm telling you, like, and I'm an energy extrovert. Like if I go to a room, the room's kind of low, I'll be low with everybody and chill. But if the room is hype, I'm like, yeah. Right. So for me, I was dying from not communicating with people. I'm like, just dying. Right. Like the people at the coffee shop knew my name by then. Right. Because I kept going there every day.
Oh my God, girl, I have my own drink at my local coffee shop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you. And like, so I go to conferences and like even this weekend, there was a conference in Atlanta with I think it's like 800 people there. And I couldn't fly in time to be there. And I'm like, tears. Like, I just want to be in the room with the energy. And, and so for me, it's a feel good issue. It's a money maker. It's also the fact that I'm reaching people in person. Right. I think that's the best thing you can do is like reach, because we're all on the internet. We're all on the internet. Yeah. But nothing beats face to face. Nothing beats face to face. Like my friend has a friend he had been talking to on the phone in Japan after they met at a conference. And he's like, I've got to go to Japan. I'm like, you got to. You've been talking to this guy for a freaking year on the phone. Like it's time to go. And so nothing beats face. Nothing beats it.
True. So very true. Well, is it okay if they have questions that they can put them in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Guys, if you have questions for Ericka, now is your chance to ask. And we have a couple funny comments. LOL at house arrest. Mm-hmm. Kim says, I'm an introvert, so it's good to hear. We can still do YouTube and success. And conferences are good. Very refreshing feeling after I feel charged up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Me too. Very, very much action taker after conferences. Agreed. Cool. Awesome. We're getting some awesome. So good engagement, guys. Keep it coming. Give us some likes and hearts if you're enjoying this so far, and tell us where you're from in the comments. I'm going to start using that more.
I'm telling you, got somebody from Phoenix, Arizona. We got a New Yorker in the chat. New York. Palm
Beach.
We got Ontario, Canada. Hello.
Hey. Tessa says, do you have help with your YouTube or do you do everything solo?
So I do have help now. When I first began, you can go back and see my old videos. They're hilarious. One, my face is so tiny, right? A little kid face. But like you can see, I literally just popped a phone in the car, turned it sideways. I knew that much and had good light from the car and popped a video, right? Now there's some videos that I record audio for and just send it to Peter, who's in Uganda. And how did I get Peter in Uganda? Another YouTuber built a studio in Uganda, and because he was in Poland and he would fly back and forth, and he built a studio in Uganda, and these guys are doing amazing work for like 13 to 20 bucks to edit videos for you, make posters, do all kind of stuff. And so now I work with Peter in Uganda to edit a lot of my videos. There was a year, like just total transparency. There was a year I had a kid named Kahari with me. I paid that kid like $4,000 a month. I paid for all his flights to fly with me out on the road and edit video for me for like a year. And like when I had to let him go, I was like, dude, do you know you're like one of the richest 19-year-old photographers out here? Like video photographer kids. Like I couldn't even take him into some places because they were like 21 and up. Yeah. So it was like, he followed me around the camera. And so a lot of like, there was some help there. Now I work with a man named Aaron Miller out of Oakland, California. He's our head creative director, but overall majority of the YouTube stuff I do, I can literally pop on this J5 or Logitech, whoever's your friend, whichever you like, make a video, interact with people that are followers of my channel, ask them how I can help them, you know, ask for the sale, right? Call to action, and daily make money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's super important. Like, don't try to get too big at first.
Literally, camera. This is a Samsung 20 Note. I made 4 commercials while in Cabo, Mexico with this thing. And I literally recorded YouTube videos with this thing. And people are like, wow, what kind of camera are you using? It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm using. Please stop overthinking it. Like, make it steady though. Don't have a shaky hand. Put it on something steady and record. Like, you're overthinking it, I promise you.
Yeah, my first YouTube videos were on Loom or Dub. So the Dub is like in the corner. And I recorded them with this, my little dinky old school webcam. So like, just take action, guys. Like, don't freaking overthink it. For sure.
I'm telling you guys, like, the biggest thing is consistency. So whatever you start with, keep with. That's what I tell people. If you're going to do, prime example, blogging, people are like, oh, blogs are dead. That's not true. When you go Google something, it's like 90% of the articles you're reading are blogs. You read maybe one CNN, right? One Fox News or business, right? Most of it's blogs. They still make a ton of money. What I told this girl is 1 a week. Don't stress yourself out. 1 a week. And now at the end of the year, you got 52 articles. And this girl's like, well, what am I doing with that? Put a book together. There's literally several YouTubers I know who literally blogged for years. And you could go read all their stuff for free. But they would put it in a little PDF book and sell it on Amazon and go, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. And people would much rather buy that book than scroll and scroll and scroll. Much rather.
Yeah.
I've just seen it over and over again, right? So, but that's from her being consistent for 1 year, 1 blog post a week for 52 weeks. That's a book, okay? Or when I talk to people and they're like, hey, I want to, put together a course. Literally, I tell them, or a book. I go, what are the top 18 questions people keep asking you? It's the same question, depending on what your topic is. Yeah. Whether it's farming, whether it's whatever. Yeah. And some people just want to support you, right? So when people see like the merch, they're like, why would someone buy a mug, a coffee mug, or a t-shirt? They may not want the course. They may love it. They just want to support.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. I have a bunch of this stuff on my desk. Like, support, I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, but it feels good to support people who help you for free, right?
For sure.
Very cool. And I want to make sure that we have enough time for you to give us like next steps, or if they want to get a hold of you, or if they want to join your program or follow you, what's the best way to do that?
I always tell people the best way is to hop on YouTube and type in the search bar, Ericka Williams, Classy Climb. You'll see me talking about credit and trucking and my businesses. I think for the summer series, we're doing a summer series because I'm on a summer sabbatical, whatever. Summer series is like what to do with $1,000. We're going to go from real estate to credit to this, that, like everything you can think of. We're going to talk about it, what to do with $1,000. And people go, Ericka, why that? I want to tell you this. I want to make this very clear. 76% of all working Americans, out of 150 million working Americans, make $30,000 a year or less, right? 86% of business owners make less than $100,000 a year. So what you're seeing is there's a lot of people like, man, I really want to do this new thing. How can I do it? And usually if they can scrape up $1,000, they can scrape up $500, they can do that new thing. So just don't overthink it. There's an audience for everything, but that's the best way is the YouTube channel. And then they'll see me on the road. But I have a lot of courses that help people with starting small businesses or starting low tech businesses. And when I mean low tech, I mean, a cleaning company, a painting company, but not them doing the actual painting, them just hiring folks out. Because what people don't understand is people have skills, but they don't have marketing skills, right? So it'll be a guy, he's a painter. He's like, I can paint really well, but I don't have enough jobs. So he'll actually work with somebody who has a company and just be a contractor for them because it'll help fill up his pipeline. Mm-hmm. And people really don't understand that in the market. Like if you're a blue collar guy and you're not married, 90% of those guys, their wife helps them organize their business, put together the QuickBooks, put together all that stuff. So when they're a solo guy, they're like, oh, got enough money for beer and party this weekend. Right? So even in this, crazy economy right now, it's really good courses for people who are like, yeah, I want to do something new, or I want to start a small business, but not go cray, not go crazy over it. So
yeah, awesome, very cool, guys. Go follow Ericka Williams on YouTube, and the third one down, right?
Yep. Yeah. Listen, when you type in Ericka Williams on the YouTube search bar, you will find me. Big curly hair, videos, over 2,000 videos. You can't miss me. Maybe one or two other Erickas, but you can't miss me.
Yep. Very cool. Do you have time for a couple more questions?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Evie, hopefully I said that right. Maybe a silly question, but what is the easiest and most user-friendly platform to start a website or blog?
I'm going to say WordPress, just the easiest, right? Just keeps it simple. Their themes are easy to start, easy to upload. Their back office is pretty easy, pretty much. And this is something I've done is I will type up on a Word doc the blog I want, and I'll copy and insert into that. And it keeps it much more simple than you think. Don't overthink it. I promise you. Getting started, and then you can clean up the nuances later, right? Because people are like, hey, this girl has all these ads on her blog on the side. She has this and that on her blog. And I'm like, yeah, but she didn't start there. She started by putting out the first blog article. And a really cool thing is if you tell people, like, let's say you're 4 months into your blogging, and you tell people, hey, I've got a book coming in like 6 weeks. Now, this is what I tell people to do. And this puts pressure on you and pressure on yourself. Hey, I got a book coming in 4 months. You guys got to check out the book, right? And you just keep writing your blog, and every bottom you keep saying, check out the book coming. And people are either going to pre-order, and I say don't pre-order till you're about 30 days in, but 30 days from the drop date. But literally, people are like, oh my God, this book, I want to see it, I want to read about it. And that's how I do it with the courses. Hey, you guys, I got this course coming. You got to check it out. And you just keep talking about it because you care about it. When you make stuff you care about, and it creates results for people, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a perfect segue into Tessa's question. She says, I work in tech. There's so much opportunity, but not sure that's enough to talk about all the time for YouTube. Thoughts?
Tessa, who are you talking to about tech? What angle do you want to talk about? Do you want more people to join you in tech? Do you want to show them that tech is easy? Do you want to show them that a lot of job opportunities out there? Like, what's the angle per se that you want to share your tech journey with them about? Do you just want to share that you're in tech? There's a lot of channels where guys have just shared that, hey, I'm a software developer. I just learned from my computer. I always tell people, think about who you're talking to, right? Because sometimes we make content just for ourselves, like, hey, I just want to hear myself say this content. Think about it. What's the guy or girl going, man, Tess put out a new video. I gotta go see it. What are they looking for you for? What are you talking to them about? And I always frame it that way. It makes it a lot easier. Like, man, I wish I knew this when I started tech. And that could be your whole channel. Things you wish you knew before you started tech. It literally, like, could be the easiest thing ever, right? Or the big thing you see people like, man, things I wish I knew before I became a realtor. Things I wish I knew before I started a business, right? So like, just break it down to like, and a really easy cheat code. I'm gonna give you guys a cheat code. When you go on YouTube, you go in the search bar, type in how to, whatever that word is, right? How to tech, right? Or type in tech and then see what Google refers to you as possible searches. Those are the most searched things on YouTube. When you type in that word, whatever it is, you'll see so much of that. Like when I type in how to make money or what to do with $1,000, just the search is crazy. Mm-hmm. Another thing is on forums. When you go on forums, a lot of the titles to your videos are there. It's the same questions people ask all the time.
Yeah, and I also want to go back to what Ericka said earlier about once you have an audience, they'll start asking you like 18 questions over and over, right? So do videos on that. It's perfect. I have a list of a bunch of stuff I haven't even touched the surface of yet, because every time someone asks me a question, I put it on my list. So that's something else you can do. And also, okay, a lot of people were asking me how to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, well, I think Ericka's a much better person to answer the question. So I'm going to interview her on my channel, right? Even though my channel is about high level and automations, it's super relevant because my audience wants to know. So, try not to overthink it. Okay, Kim says, I've worked with entrepreneurs who are afraid of technology. I set up their system, landing pages, sales funnels, websites, and email. Google My Business. Can a channel be around this?
Yes. So what's the number one question people say? I can't afford this, or I can't set it up, or it's too complicated. There's a whole done with you and done for you. So you need to promote yourself as like, listen, you're a busy entrepreneur. You're out here slaying dragons. You're making sales. Let me help set up your back office to take the ease off your mind. I'm going to set up your landing page. I'm going to set up your automations. I'm going to set up your follow-up emails. So you're not spending hours and weeks trying to set this up. Let me help you cut that learning curve. And I'm not going to worry about teaching it to you, which I will, but I'm going to do it for you and walk you through what I did. Now, that could be your whole YouTube channel. It's just pitching that you'll do it for them. And as you keep building that channel, what happens is people are going to go, and this is what happens a lot of times. A lot of people in my YouTube course, they get in there, they're like, oh my God, I'm just going to hire somebody to follow me around with a camera. Like literally people make the decision after a while, like I'm busy doing this business. I just want someone to follow me with a camera. And now they go hire a kid to follow them and edit videos. Right. And so, but they don't know that till they start the process. So all of a sudden Kim's telling them about, hey, you do this, you do that, you set it up this way. They're going to realize halfway through, they're super frustrated. They're just going to go back to focusing on their business and be like, you know what I should have did? I should have called Kim. Right. So even if you make the channel, call Kim. I'll set up your back office or something, right? There's one guy, he made a joke of it. He calls himself the back end specialist. And like people would like laugh, play on words or whatever. But I tell people like, keep it simple. What do people call you for? Hey, call Kim. Like you ever see the channel, hey, call Saul? Kim could totally make a mockery of like, hey, call Kim. You know what I mean? And like, let that be your buildup repeatedly. Every video is like, hey, let me do this for you. Like, start the video like, are you having problems doing ABC? Start recording and then go halfway through the video like, hey, just give me a call. I'll solve it for you. And then go on with the rest of the video. Because you want to make the call to action. A lot of people say, put the call to action at the end of the video. People, time is busy, right? The average YouTube watch time is 7 to 12 minutes. So you're making 30-minute, hour-minute videos, unless you have a super engaged audience like I do, and even my audience don't watch the whole videos. I tell people, put that call to action like 2-3 minutes into that bad boy. So they know, hey, listen, you may not have time to watch this whole video because you're a busy entrepreneur, but what you can do is give me a call. Call me. I'll set it up for you. I'll get you fixed. Call Kim.
Call Kim. Awesome. And you said you have a YouTube course.
Yeah.
Perfect. Guys,
and I call it starting a 6-figure YouTube business because a lot of times you tell people YouTuber, they're like, but actually having a legit business, not just throwing videos up there and hoping and praying, but actually putting it out there, actually having it that so that content has a purpose and a meaning and makes actual money for you on a consistent basis.
Cool. Yeah. So guys, I know you're still asking questions. I gotta let Ericka go because I want to respect her time. But go check out her YouTube channel, Ericka Williams, and her YouTube course if you want to go farther and have a real YouTube business. Ericka, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you being here and sharing your wisdom with us. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and go follow Ericka on her channel.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thanks for letting me come on.